Hey, what's up, everyone? I am Arah, aka ieatzebra, joined by my bestie, GrayArea. How you doing, girl?
Hey y'all, we got a
Um,
lot to talk about.
we have thoughts, as you could see, Melissa. We agree with you. They did not get that pluck at all, clearly. But I just want to say, shout out to the people in the chat tonight. I see we have Rico Flores, Anna, Mari Moon, Jen Fontaine, Melissa Downey, Susan Devine, Juana Yvonne, Maytal E. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. So, girl, how did you feel about the episode as overall?
I'm gonna just say it. This is gonna be a little rant. I did not like it. I did not like it. I felt like it fell flat. I felt like it was like you take this season, which was so promising and like so good, like old school good, and then they just flipped it into like some bullshit. Like there's just so many plot holes. Like we don't know what's going on with Doris. Like where did she go? Where did she go? We don't know where Alma is. Like where did she go? Like the whole 3 months later in LA thing, like there was no wrap up in Provincetown. Like you brought the state trooper in, so when they made this deal, like when Ursula made this deal with the chemist, I'm like, oh, Karen isn't dead. Like Karen is gonna blow that whole story apart. And then it's like 3 months later, they're in LA, and I'm like, what the fuck? So like, there's no closure in Provincetown. So I feel like possibly they could bring it back. They could bring it back around if they tie it into this second part, which I do think it's going to be tied into this second part. But like, I don't know. It was just like all this build up, and then it was just like,
I just have to say, I agree with Graham Dotson's point right here. Where was her painting?
right. Like
I
you
thought we were
showed
going to
us
see
this
this
big painting.
masterpiece, like, or at least like a mention of her painting. You know what I mean? Like as an offhand comment or something like that. Like, oh, Karen's painting got auctioned off for like millions of dollars or something. Just something simple like that. There was just like, it reminded me of Apocalypse, the season finale of Apocalypse. It went exactly the same way. It's like we're doing good. Got all this time travel stuff, and you got the witches back. They're kicking ass, and then he gets hit by a car
Yeah, Mallory goes like back in time, and
back in time and hits him with a car, and
yeah,
that's the end of the Antichrist. All of a sudden, like it reminded me of that. Like it had all this build up. Like me and you were talking like throughout the episode. It had such a strong beginning. Like the first half of the episode was so good. The ending just fell so flat to me. Like
yeah.
so flat. What the hell happened? Like you had it right there. Like the story was right there. You just had to just finish strong. That's all you had to do.
It
Like
felt like Game of
and
Thrones season 8.
it really did. I had flashbacks. I was like, oh no, not again, not again. Like, oh, I was getting so excited, hyping this up,
Yeah.
and then
It felt
that ending.
Like Jamie Lannister's backstory where he went back to King's Landing. Like it felt like that. Like and he got killed by rocks. Like
Exactly.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's just like what Glam.Zan was saying. Like,
Yeah.
why put this whole scene of Karen making this painting? Um, why put Karen in the B-roll of the trailer? Like she was in the trailer for this episode. Why do all that and then there's no payoff to these things? Like when you build up these
Yeah.
plot points, they're supposed to be like payoff. Like,
The only thing I could think of would just be like if they were trying to use it as like ooh, is it the body that they find Karen? But it's like it was a sheriff. Like I kind of saw that coming. If you didn't see my prediction video, kind of said that. So hey. But I actually wanted to bring up C. Williams' point. Double feature was an amazing idea. However, it should have been 2 full seasons back to back. I wholeheartedly agree. Like it was tracking and trending so well. But if you like figure if we gave it like a full season by itself, maybe they could have got into like something with like the Pilgrims because they kept bringing that up for no reason. Lyme disease again brought up again. What was the deal with that? Like it's like expectation management, I guess, would be the big thing I'd have for this finale
Yeah.
and
Like
like
we
this so far for this half. Like it's expectation management. Like don't keep throwing stuff out there if you're not gonna, especially with 6 episodes. Like tie it up. Like you don't have that much time, and they were doing well, and then
I feel like they can save it because there's what, 3 episodes left, or four
4.
episodes. There's 4 episodes left. So whatever story that they're trying to tell about these aliens, they can't tell it. It has to tie into this. And like when
Yeah.
we were seeing the previews for the next episode or the next part 2, like those people were like bit in the neck. It looked like they had neck wounds, a lot of the dead
Yes.
people. So I do think there's going to be some tie-in that could possibly bring us back to P-Town eventually.
Yeah, and also they were in LA, and we do know Death Valley is in California.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it looks like from you know what? We'll get into that a little bit later for thoughts for the next episode. So let's actually like get into like at least the part that we liked about this episode, which was the first half.
Yeah.
And I feel like it had such a strong first half. So it's gonna like go into like a little bit of what happened. So we open up with the fisherman that we saw in the preview pulling out a body from the water. And it is Sheriff Burleson, Adina Porter's character, which we kind of figured. And then we cut to that lovely resident association meeting. And can I just say, they were reading people for filth, and I was here for it so
I
much.
text I text Arah. I said that is the neighborhood association from hell. Like
They really were. They
from
really
hell.
were awful.
Like
I
they were
loved it.
terrible. Like
Like
how are you going to complain about a shade of white?
they were like, you might as well have picked orange. Like, can you not tell the difference between the two shades of white for your siding? Like, oh my goodness, you have terrible taste. Like, I'm at first I really thought like Holden and like some of the other people on the council actually took the pill, but they actually just naturally have talent. Like, I guess not everybody had to sell their soul.
Yeah, but they were getting kickbacks. Like
Yes.
so like pharmaceutical reps in the medical field, like they can like they'll like buy you lunch and stuff to like promote their pill or like to prescribe their pill or whatever. They used to like take you on vacations and shit, but then like Congress stopped it because it was like unethical.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what they were getting. Like you guys get to come here and you get to eat blood and we don't bother you, and we get to say that fancy screenwriters and shit come here in the wintertime. Like we get to have that
Yeah.
reputation.
And they write all these great masterpieces while they're here, so it kind of like also like can help build up some of that winter tourism. And it's dead, it's so dead over there in the wintertime. Like I know people that live in P-Town, it's fairly quiet compared to like how it is in the summer. It is so busy. Like the what was she, like the head of the association, when she's talking about like, oh, you have to worry about like the traffic on Route 6. And I will say, if you've never been to the Cape, the traffic to get in and out of the Cape during the summertime is a nightmare, especially during 4th of July weekend. Anyways, back to the episode overall. But just like the way they were reading the restaurant, like Holden was just like talking trash about the restaurant guy. And he's like, in your tacky restaurant, what do you say? In your
I
tacky
love
plastic
him.
chairs. And like, you're going to ruin his hydrangeas.
I love
Like, oh
him.
my goodness. I love him.
I like Clara Deckel's comment. She said, I feel like Holden and Ursula were supposed to represent that some people are just cutthroat without even taking the pill.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Ursula was giving me like, how do I want to put it? She kind of reminded me of like, what was it, Mutt in again going back to Apocalypse. I think it was Mutt and Chet. It's Billy Eichner and Evan Peters, like the tech guys that like
Mhm.
sold their soul to the devil, and like they had like
Yeah.
this whole roster. And how she like so candidly say once you sell your soul, you can't like get it back. Like, what do you know about that?
Yeah, what do you know about that?
Again, expectation management. Like you can't.
Oh my god, when Alma, I'm jumping a little ahead.
No, you're fine.
When Alma was like chicken shit, bitch.
Chicken shit bitch sent me. I loved that. It was so funny.
Yo, that was the only time I liked Alma was when she was like talking shit to Ursula, like you chicken
Oh,
shit
me too.
bitch. I was
Well,
like,
actually, she was girl. She was so. Oh my god, that little girl is so evil.
she is, and she was like that before she took the pill. Like something was wrong with her before she took it. Oh, and they hinted on that in this episode.
Yes, they did.
The I don't know if you guys saw my video about the Shakespeare themes, the um there being like a Macbeth theme going on here. But they said like Ursula told Harry, he was like, "This is your Romeo and Juliet. Like, this is your Romeo and Juliet."
Yes.
And then they were talking about morality and having what it takes and ambition and how you never stop. And Harry was like, "I just want to enjoy the fruits of my labor." And they're like, "No, bitch, it don't work like that."
It really doesn't. Like, honestly, you can't just do all that evil stuff and like kill people and then all of a sudden, like, I had a change of heart. I'm gonna go be a good person now. And
Yeah.
this is American Horror Story. No, you're gonna die. Like, I knew he was doomed once he said that. Like, absolutely doomed.
Yeah.
But actually, I want to get into the scene with when they kind of have that meeting with the chemist, Belle, Austin, and Holden.
Mhm.
Because I noticed like a little bit further on like tying into the selling their soul thing, Belle brings up about how the Hollywood types, and I feel like this is like Ryan Murphy also like kind of digging at his like his peers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
In Hollywood, the industry's creepy. I just want to throw that out there that they're creepy people over
Super
there.
dark.
Super dark. And that what Belle said, like QAnon, what was it? Oh my goodness. It's like the QAnon Satan baby killers or something like that. I'm like, you had a nerve.
Right. Little Miss
Like
Illuminati.
didn't you just ask TB Karen to like kidnap babies for you like last episode and you're
Yeah.
calling people baby killers? Like, ma'am. Like
Yeah. Like hypocritical much, bitch.
very, very, very hypocritical. I just like she was doing a lot for me, but I thought it was funny how the chemist. So obviously, we didn't see the scene from like the end of last episode where Ursula, Alma go to the chemist's house. So I'm assuming that's where they kind of made their little pact
Mm-hmm.
and set up this plan that we see essentially unfold within the beginning of the episode. So the chemist essentially like double crossed Belle and Austin with like, and there's like another double cross with like Ursula and Harry, and like I don't know, it's a lot of crosses, a lot of I didn't see that comings, and I like that, and then yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's probably you're probably right. So they probably did make that deal um when Alma and Ursula went to the chemist's house. And that's probably why Alma said, plus we have Ursula. So like when she was trying to tell Harry, yeah, I'm not scared. Plus we have Ursula.
yeah.
And we're like, fuck, what is she gonna do? What does that mean?
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe my wild speculation about her being a siren was correct because I was like, all right, so how the hell is she going to convince these pale people to like turn and attack? But then we find out she has this like alternative pill, and we get that nice little Matrix reference.
Right. Right.
And then she goes on that Lawrence Fishburne / Samuel Jackson kind of rant.
And then they use that like in the when Ursula goes to, so she mentions Lawrence Fishburne who plays in the Matrix. Doesn't he play in the Matrix?
Yes, he plays Morpheus.
Right. And then when she goes to that meeting, she's like, this isn't about a red pill or a blue pill. This is about a black pill.
Yes.
So like that was another like Matrix Easter egg, which I'm not really sure what they're trying to do, like what they're trying to connect there.
I think they're more or less kind of going with like the choice of like what type of reality you want to go with. Like for example, like how Neo, guys, haven't seen the Matrix in forever, so I'm not even gonna say which one's which pill. So we're just gonna say the concept of them. So if somebody wants to exactly, drop that in the comments, I'd appreciate it. But essentially, it's either you can stay in this illusion and stay within the Matrix and this little dream fantasy, or you could take the other pill, come out of the Matrix, and essentially realize that your whole reality was false.
Right.
And I feel like with this, it's more or less like their, I don't know, maybe not more or less their well, actually no, because Ursula kind of brings up their reality. Like you could either take this pill, unlock greatness, or you can listen to this hack who sold one flopped screenplay and let that whatever he's telling you be your reality. Kind of like, how do I put it? Better yet, scrap all that. Karen and Mickey from last episode. How Karen was not willing to sell her humanity for success,
Yeah.
but Mickey was. And I think that essentially that choice, like
Hmm.
which reality are you willing to, not really reality, but how far are you willing to go?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
that makes
that's,
sense.
yeah.
I just
That's,
don't know, like my point. Well, what I was saying was I don't know why even bother bringing that shit up because I feel like it is now a plot hole. It is now a plot hole, and we have no white rabbit to follow to get out of the Matrix or to get into the Matrix. Like I feel stuck in the Matrix right now. Like what the fuck?
thank you. Okay, thank you, C. Williams, for bringing that up. I totally forgot. Neo, the one, duh. Neo's like kind of like this like messianic like figure. He's like the guy,
Mhm.
the great one, the greatness, kind of like, do you want to be great or do you want to just be average?
Yeah.
There it is. Thanks, guys. We needed. Thanks for the help. But actually, I want to get into like obviously. I want to talk about the meat and potatoes of the episode to me, which was the scene at Belle's house.
Which seemed very rushed.
It did actually for me at first. It was going well, like even like because like that action like attack scene that like, it was going well. Like honestly, everything was going well until they got to LA for me. Because
Yeah,
I
I
thought
like.
because it was a finale, so I'm thinking I'm like, all right, they're gonna frame Harry for these murders, and then we got like 20 minutes to wrap up this Provincetown storyline, tie everything up. But then they dropped a bomb and went to LA, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
didn't think we were going there.
Yeah. So that the fight at Harry's house or at Belle's house sent me because it was like it happened real fast. Like I felt like Austin and Belle were kind of just killed. Boom, killed off.
I think the chemist kind of just uses people to like peddle her wares.
Hmm.
Like she used Austin and Belle essentially to kind of like control that. Like they were her part of her like team, if you will, in her market in P Town. And then when she goes to set up shop in LA, it's like Ursula and Alma are kind of like her group. And then it seems like she just ditches them eventually, and then just her and baby Eli
Yeah.
go fuck shit up
And I'm
somewhere.
glad she ditched Alma and Ursula, to be honest.
Me
Like, I'm
too.
fucking
They're terrible
glad.
humans. They're god awful humans. And I just want to point out, Claire Dattel, I said the same thing. The oh my god, baby charcuterie sent me. Like when she walks in, it's like, oh, baby charcuterie's on the menu today. I absolutely loved it. Like I just want to get into Frances Conroy a little bit. Like, let me just give her praise. That scene where she's
Yes.
like going to her little rant and like, I'm wondering if some of it might have been a little improv, just by the way Evan Peters kind of like looks at her a little bit.
We're gonna clean up this town.
Yeah, when he's like, okay, we're going there. All right, this is intense. Like, all right, like I just thought that was just like really, just she was so good.
But could you imagine this season ending and you don't know like what happened to Alma? Like
I just assume she's well, I'm just assuming she's dead, but she's probably not. The little girl's like the spawn of Satan. She's not dead.
Like
That's
I
one
can't
thing Alma's gonna do is survive.
like I feel like you built her up to be like this major villain and then kind of left us hanging. Like all we know is that she killed that guy
Like,
and then we don't.
no, I think would have been a stronger finish is like if say Alma didn't end up killing him, which I thought was like super sloppy, but again, it's Alma and she's a child and she's sloppy. But had she not killed him, like I would love to have seen her actually not get the part that she auditioned for the first chair
Mm-hmm.
and see how that would have affected her ego. Like I felt like that would have been a nice fun way to wrap it up.
Yes, yes. And I was getting so when the guy was talking to her that was auditioning against her and he was like, "You're a freak. Like you're the bearded lady. You would make this a freak show." I was thinking
Yeah.
about the season of American Horror Story that was Freak Show because me and my friend John, we had did like a podcast before season 8 had came out and we were talking about there's this about that picture that Ryan Murphy posted. Um it was quoted, "Something wicked this way comes." Something wicked this way comes, besides it being a line from Macbeth, is also a book. There's a book called Something Wicked This Way Comes, and it's like about a traveling carnival, and the traveling carnival has like a wish master in it. It's creepy, but I was wondering like could they bring Freak Show in to like tie Freak Show into this season? So I would love
Yes.
if they somehow do, but with 4 episodes left, I don't know how they're going to do that cuz
Yeah.
they have to come back to this. Like they can't just leave this shit open like this.
Yeah, I think for like how do I want to put it? I'm just like, bleh, I just don't like the way this season wrapped, or not even the season wrapped, this half wrapped. But how do I want to say it? With Alma and that whole scene, it's just like, what was the point? I guess like my thing with the whole ending, I'm sorry, I'm not over this guy. I'm so stuck on it. But actually, I want to jump back just a little bit. I want to throw this out there. I fully endorses the chemist's idea of community service in LA. I too would like to clean up the scum in LA, and I appreciate her for being a good person about that. I
That's the
really
only thing
do.
she's good about.
That's the only nice thing that woman has ever done is
I was sitting there like when they were in the house and I was like the chemist and Ursula are raising these two kids. These two kids are about to be like Elma's already fucked up. Like Eli's
oh
about to be
yeah.
fucked up too. Like he's
Oh
about to be
yeah.
he's
Poor little
and
baby
then
Eli.
she's like about to be like experimenting on him. Basically is what she
Yes.
said.
Yeah. Like also somebody put up a good let me find the comment about how many different pills does this woman have? Oh, here it
She
is.
got a pharmacy.
Thank you, Miss T. Like, how many different pills? Because like they had, and we're like jumping back and forth, but they had figured the black pill, as we know of.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had that alternative version of the black pill that was like, I guess, like a precursor to it.
Mm-hmm.
According to the chemist, she said like that one it made the people like start turning on each other,
Yeah.
and she's still stuck on this like the government funded this project, the government's funding this project, but I'm like to let you go rogue in a major city like that with that much chaos and destruction, that does not sound right. I call bullshit on it personally.
I think they might. I don't think they're funding it now. I think they were initially like whatever
Yeah.
research she was doing and she left and just took her research with her. But she is adamant that no matter what, they won't know what's in it. And that makes me think that it's not something from this planet Because if it was from
Yes,
this planet, they'd be able to know what was in it by reverse engineering. So, yeah, no. It's aliens.
it
Something
has to
that's
be.
in that pill is alien. It's foreign. It's not from this planet. And
Nope.
that's how it's going to connect into that's how the two seasons are going to connect.
It has to be. It has to be aliens. And like you could kind of see that there's like some clips from the present day
Hmm.
into like the second half. And yeah, there's because what else could it be that makes them
Yeah.
so special? And I'm hoping and I'm expecting the second half of the season to kind of answer that question because again, that's like a big unanswered plot hole for such a short season. Like not even short season, short half. I'm treating them almost like they're separate seasons, but it's literally just half of one whole season. But I really don't see how they're going to clear any of this up.
Um, Let me answer Jonathan's question real quick. He says, "Are you suggesting the aliens made the pill?" Um, no, I'm not suggesting that the aliens made the pill. We do see that the president or some military official, I don't know what exactly he is going to have contact with the aliens. And in the trailer, the alien is telling them, I think it's the first trailer that came out for both seasons. It's like a alien that looks like Flo from like Progressive, and she's like, we need to make a half human, half alien. Like we need to make hybrids is basically what she's saying. So I feel like that they are using something from another planet or some kind of alien DNA or some kind of alien technology to manufacture these pills.
Oh, this is a good catch from Tulkas 420. X Files had the black oil, black pill. I'm not too familiar with that, but it sounds legit, and it would be a good reference point, seeing as
Hmm.
again, X Files deals with like extraterrestrials and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
because in like secret government agency, like cover ups and whatnot.
And when she's making those pills, it's like a
It
black
is a
oil
oil,
that
like a
she
liquid.
then, yeah, she puts like a compounding agent and just turns it into a powder.
Exactly. So it's like,
So
hmm.
good catch.
That's a very, very good catch. Actually, I wanted to get back to a little bit the scene that like really like kind of made me upset just a little bit. Alma killing her dad.
Yeah. It was sad. He had
I
it
was like,
coming. He had it
he
coming.
really did. He really did. But at the same time, also like he really wanted to turn over a new leaf. I feel like he didn't really know what to expect because they didn't really tell him what the side effects of the pill were like truly going to be until
Hmm.
like it was like too late. And
Yeah.
obviously he didn't plan for Alma to take it at all. And like with her, predisposition for just being a evil
Bitch.
baby. Yeah, for just being an evil child. Like little Damien from The Omen. Like
She's such a good actress.
she's so talented. So talented. Cause I was ready to like punt her. Actually. I thought what was it when Ursula says like, "Oh, I'm so surprised you turned out so well when you were raised by a glass of warm oat milk." Was it Harry in the glass of warm oat milk? Like, dang, why you gotta treat Doris like that?
Right.
Like the way that she was like talking about Doris, like, oh, when Harry's like, oh, I think I saw her, and she's like, why does it even matter? Like, she's so unimportant. We don't need her. We never needed her. And he's like, that's your mom. That's not like a stray cat.
That
Like,
should have been his clue right there. Like, she feels the same about you, sir. You get in her way, she's gonna kill you. And like,
exactly.
when did she get her teeth filed?
Oh,
When did
Harry. Oh, Ursula probably took her to the dentist to go see Lark.
and like what's Lark's purpose even? Like
Just to
just to
file
be
teeth.
just to
Just
be a
file teeth.
dentist.
File teeth and
What
sell
a
80s
waste of
jackets.
what a waste of Billy Lord's talent. Like how many jackets like that did she have?
Well, she said there was quite a few because figured they said they were donated after people that passed away from like the AIDS epidemic in the 80s, which
Mm,
was a lot of people who passed when that especially during the 80s and early 90s. So like there would be a lot of coats,
Yeah.
essentially. And I don't know why, but somebody actually pointed out in the comments of one of my videos. I love how like the shoulder pads kind of add to their like contortionist type movements.
Mm-hmm.
Like it gives it like a
Yeah.
little bit more of like a dramatic effect to it. Good call, good call. But yeah, that literally was the whole purpose of Billy Lord was, yo, I need you to file some teeth and sell some coats.
But when
Thanks.
when Ursula like came in, like popping off, like psh, 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 I was like, oh shit, she is useful.
Yeah, I was like, yo, honestly, I had a feeling because I told you like during the break, I was like, Ursula's gonna do something to convince these people, and then I feel like she's gonna come to the save the day, and lo and behold,
She did.
she did. But literally, it was just a plan for them to just get rid of Harry.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they didn't get rid of Alma too, but I think it's just to use her essentially.
I'm pretty
I don't know.
sure the chemist wants to study Alma. Like wanted like Alma she probably never had a child subject before,
Yeah,
and now she's about to do the same thing to the baby.
yeah,
And funny, she says to the baby, I want to create something to make you live forever. And we were talking
yes.
about one of the differences. Well, I think you were not we you were talking about one of the differences between the muses and the vampires from Hotel is seemed to be immortality was one of the things.
Yes.
So she might try to fuck around with that blood
Mhm.
virus, and we might find out that that blood virus originated from aliens.
That could make sense because they like say it originates in the Carpathian Mountains, and that's like a really old region. It's Transylvania. Like put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
guys. It's like well, Transylvania doesn't exist anymore, but
A
you
UFO
know,
landed there and
just use
infected
your
it.
imagination. But I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
bring up Jen Fontaine's comment that poor Doris wasn't even good enough to fight with the Pales. Like you easily could have finished off her storyline by just having her with them and kill her. Like
They could have finished off her storyline by having her like beat the shit out of Ursula, but then Ursula,
so good.
like then at the last minute before she kills Ursula, the pale ones kill Doris.
Yeah. Unless what I'm thinking is possible. I wonder if the pills that she took, because she said, who knows, they might be able to even cure some of you. What if she left them behind and Ursula eventually stumbles upon one of them and it happens to somehow cure her? And
Ooh.
she comes back in part 2 and that can kind of like help wrap up maybe some of that. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
I am
no, but
spitballing here. I
some
need
of those
some
plot holes
closure.
need to be wrapped up. Like you can't just keep doing that shit.
Yeah, like if she doesn't come back up, you should have just killed her. You,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna kill Harry like a couple of minutes later. Like you could have just got rid of both her parents at the same time.
Yeah, like I think the plot hole that bothers me the most is Karen. TB Karen.
Yeah, I figured she definitely was like dead because like the disclaimer at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was like, oh yeah, no, she's probably gone. And I feel like it, like her and Mickey's storyline wrapped up really well. I was sad because I really liked them, but I mean, go figure. As soon as you like somebody in American Horror Story, they're gonna go kill them all.
Yeah. But like the paint, like her painting, like
That wouldn't bother me.
there was
Like,
like a whole montage of her painting and Mickey laying on the ground and then her walking to the ocean. It was so dramatic for it
oh,
to just be like, phew.
and there was a line in the very beginning of the episode. One of the first lines was like, "Oh, there's a storm coming with, and it's messing with the tides,
Mm,
red tide." So I'm thinking like, "Oh, they're gonna somehow incorporate this with the discovery of her painting, and it's gonna be called like red tide because I don't know, some weird shit's gonna happen the day that they discover it because of the storm and I don't know." I thought they were gonna be creative enough to make it work, but they
yeah.
didn't. Like, I just what did she paint? Even if they didn't show us the painting, at
I
least
think we're
just
going to see that shit.
I hope so.
I think we're going to see that. I think episode 10. So, To answer Gina F's question, she says, is part two a flashback or modern time? It looks like both. It looks like both because
Yeah,
we see like the 1930s, 1940s, but we also see modern times. Like we see like a 2021 BMW. So
yeah.
it's like both. So I feel like with it being modern times,
Oh, so it's probably gonna be actually like the 50s. Because all right, so they haven't confirmed. I'm not sure if the character is named Dwight Eisenhower, but I'm not sure if it's actually the president Dwight Eisenhower that. Ooh, what is his name? Neil McDonough is playing, or it could just be like just some guy named Dwight Eisenhower.
yeah.
But he was. I had to Google it because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know off the top of my head, guys. I'm not that smart. Um, but he was president from 53 to 61.
So the 50s, the 60s, and if it's the 60s, I feel like Asylum was during the 60s, right?
Yes, it was. So that could be the tie in there. And also with Neil McDonough, I've mentioned this multiple times, guys, and I'm just gonna keep mentioning it until the season's over. I am positive they watched Project Blue Book like I did and cast him because it has to do with aliens, government conspiracies, and Neil McDonough's character is like a general in the Air Force, and literally, actually, the actor who plays Littlefinger stars in that show. But yeah, essentially, the whole point is the government covering up aliens. And
Well,
what is he doing this season?
yeah, it's gonna be
Alien
something like
government
that.
cover up. So it's literally like the same thing. And oh yeah, somebody did, oh thank you. Yeah, it's the president, the alien dressed like the lady from Progressive said, Mr. President. So yeah, that would be Eisenhower. So that would be 53 to 61, sometime in between there. So if we lean maybe towards more towards like the end of his presidency, that could be where that asylum tie-in could come in.
I think so too. And I think because it's gonna be modern times and back times, that the modern times could tie into P Town. So like
Yes.
we could see like Karen's red tide painting in an art gallery like in LA or in Nevada or something.
Even girl, something simple like that and just like a little plaque with her name, just like zoom in on it for a quick second. All we need.
All we need.
That's all you need to do. Like just nice and simple. Like wrap it up in a little bow.
That closes that. That's no longer a plot hole.
Not at all. But what was I gonna say? With before I forget, that little girl in her performance,
Alma.
Alma, the way the judges were reacting to her, I was like, oh, so she really is like super good. I'm gonna be honest, I don't listen to classical music. It sounded good to me, but I'm assuming she must really have been that great.
Well, it isn't even to me. That's why the guy called her, said you're a freak. You're a freak show. Like you're a freak
Oh, she's a
because
prodigy. I'm sorry. I mean, she
right.
is somebody's progeny, but like,
It's not even that she's that talented. I mean, of course she's talented, but it's the age. It's her age that makes it more prolific. Like,
yes,
wow, like you're doing this at this age that somebody at 25 might be able to do. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
the guy she was competing against had been to Juilliard,
Juilliard, yes,
Juilliard, and like had done all these things, and then now you got this little girl, and that's why he was like, "You're not like that's why you're not gonna get hired because you're the bearded lady, you're the freak."
yeah. Essentially, like what he was saying is like, yeah, they're gonna use you for like clout to sell tickets. Like,
Hmm.
hey, look, we have this little child prodigy, and everybody's gonna want to come see her. So it's like they're either gonna use you for clout, or they're not going to choose you because they don't want to deal with that news circus that comes with it. Odds are
Hmm.
they probably would have chosen her because business is business and they're going to go with whatever sells more tickets, and they're going to sell more tickets for a, what was she, 9? Oh
Yeah,
my god, the
10.
chemist said that this episode to her too. She's like, "What are you, 5?" Like,
Trying to tell me what to do.
yes, I loved it. I was like, "Who are you talking to, child?" Like,
I
hot
like
mess.
that. Let's say she gets the part because she's killed her competition, even though I thought you were a talented little girl and you've been taking these muse pills, you still had to kill your competition. Okay.
Right?
So let's say you get the part. But at this point, the chemist is gone. So you don't have any more muse pills. So you're gonna suck.
Exactly. Not only that, but it's like I'm pretty positive this facility has cameras.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably why she left, because she was probably like, "This little girl gonna get me caught up." Ursula's handing out pills during a seminar.
Like it's nothing.
Or like, what was it? She was passing them around at a Starbucks. Like, zero like discretion at all. Because she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm in the business of dealing with volume and stuff like that." But it's like, yeah, but you're gonna get yourself caught up, because like there's gonna be that common denominator in all these situations, and in lo and behold, it's Ursula.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just be handing out pills like they don't have these like terrible side effects.
Yeah. Like you're making pale people miss. You're making a lot of them
Yes.
with
And
no
like
regard.
none at all. Like she has no concern for anybody. And what gets me is she has like like on this high horse, like with like she's like Alma or something like that, where Alma's like, "Oh, the untalented people, who cares? There's like a waste of space." And Ursula's like, "Yeah, they are." And it's like, girl, you didn't even take the pill, so you have a
Right.
hair.
What is your talent? Being a bitch?
Exactly. You're telling me to bitch and like
Telling
exploiting
people
other
what to
people's
do.
talents. Well,
Right. Like, what
actually,
is your fucking talent?
she is talented enough. I mean, she got through the pale people without them killing her. She like reasoned enough with them to take the pill, I
She's a
guess.
talented sales lady.
She's a talented saleswoman. That's her talent.
You fucking Avon lady, you glorified Avon lady, get out of here. Like, and then
That's essentially what she is.
Alma, when she was talking to that guy, and she was like, "No one's better than me. No
Yeah.
one." Just like,
Like,
bitch.
I really think in your video you had a point when you're talking about how it like messes with like the frontal lobe,
Hmm.
because obviously she's a child. Hers isn't like not even like remotely started developing properly.
Hmm.
And like it just affects her so severely. Like she killed her father,
And her mom.
her
I
mother.
mean, she didn't kill her, but she might as well have.
She might as well have. She gave her the pill. She essentially she gaslighted her to take the pill.
Yeah.
Like I knew like she set her dad up, willingly set her dad up. She just killed this random stranger. Like they have like a whole bathhouse for her to just like kill random people in.
Oh,
Like,
that guy was hot too.
oh yeah, she's like, "You're not what I was expecting." He's like, "I mean, you weren't what I was expecting." And I'm like, ew, yeah,
Yeah, like what's happening?
can we like this is really
Can we not?
awkward. Yeah, I was like, is that bad? Like, is it my bias? Like, if it was like some like ugly homeless looking guy, I'd have been like, you gotta do what you gotta do, Alma.
Yeah. I
But this
don't
guy, I was
know.
like, I don't know, there's like a weird, because it was a hustler, there was like a weird sexual undertone to it. It just made me really uncomfortable.
She was like, "You'll do." And I was like,
He's like, what was that supposed to mean? It's like, sir, she's about to eat you for lunch. Like, she doesn't mean
yeah.
your snack, like that kind of snack,
Oh,
like
one of my
literal
one of
snack.
my one of my favorite scenes was when Alma was eating her dad. And she looked up and she was like,
I like
"I don't like
privacy.
yeah, I don't like people looking at me while I'm eating." And it's just the way she said it. It was so sinister. Like if that actress doesn't get a lot of jobs coming up,
She
like
needs to. She's so
she's
good.
she's so good.
She really is. And like that scene is just so messed up on so many levels. Cause he's like, oh, good. He's like, we're gonna grab Eli, we're gonna go be a family and it's all gonna be fine and we're gonna live off the fruits of my labor. He's like, I wrote enough scripts for 5 years and he did. Didn't even matter.
He
And they
deserved it. He deserved it for the way he
oh he
talked to
did.
Doris. when she was on the
Yes, he
floor, like
did.
going through the change.
Yeah, he did, because that was, like, so cruel and unnecessary to
Yeah.
treat her that way, and then you could tell he was having some remorse once he started coming down off the pill,
Mm-hmm.
because when he starts coming off the pill, that's when he's, like, he sees her outside, and he's like, "Oh, wait, there she is," like, so it's like, I almost feel sorry for you, but not really, because
Yeah.
you're still an asshole for what you did to her, because I was totally uncool. But what he but the fact that he, like, actually swept the award season.
Right. That's what they said.
Yeah, like, something like that, like, I just needed that as a wrap up for, like, Karen and Doris and the Lyme
Mm-hmm.
disease and everything else that was mentioned that has not been resolved yet.
Right. The Lyme disease, like, come on, guys. Like, I'll take everything back if they connect this second part and they tie up these loose ends. I'll take it all back. I'll take it all
Yeah,
back. That it's not bad. The only reason I'm saying that is bad is because there was so many loose ends
yes.
that haven't been tied up. There's so many, like, it's a finale. So when it's a finale, like, questions that we had are we're supposed to be given the answers to, and we didn't really get them. So
No.
maybe we will get them in the next 4 episodes, because we know it's modern times as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like the dots are connecting where they're gonna wind up back in Provincetown.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, but, I wanna get into the ending monologue a little bit from
Hmm.
Ursula. I thought it was I like the message, I got the sentiment that they were going for, more or less it's like, people look at kinda like people's success and, like, you see all the flashy stuff, like, all the money, the clothes, the jewelry, the trips, the this, the that, like, all the, like, luxury items, but they don't see, like, all the hard work that goes into achieving that and getting there. Like, they don't see, like, the sleepless nights or the sleeping on people's couches, like, a lot of, like, really successful people, like, they had a like, you go through, like, a really rough period to achieve those levels of success, but a lot of people aren't willing to actually put in the hard work to get there, which is essentially what they were getting at with the whole pill and the purpose of, like, these people just want the instant gratification rather than working towards, like, their actual goal. Like, figure Harry probably had that talent hidden in him the whole time, but he wasn't willing to actually, like, work hard enough to achieve that, and took the pill as a shortcut to be like, "Oh, how, like, Austin and Belle, like, they kinda tantalize him into wanting to take it because have all these awards and stuff, and he wants him to be an award winner, and he's willing to, like, take the shortcut, take the pill, become this monster to have this glory, and oh, well, you ended up a snack for your daughter, like, a couple weeks later, so was it worth it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it all ties to Shakespeare, to me, to Macbeth, because you have to be a certain type of person to achieve a certain level of success. Like, you can be successful and you could just work hard and you can achieve that. Like, there's a quote, and I think that it's hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. So, like, if you want to be good at something, you just put the work in and you'll be good at it. Like, you sacrifice sleep, you sacrifice things to be good at something, and these people, they weren't willing to sacrifice. And I had rewatched some of the episodes, and, like, Austin, the story that he told Harry about how he found out about the pills was a completely different backstory than what we were shown. And I don't know if that was
Ooh.
Mr. Like, I don't know if that was on purpose, but he, like, said he had a friend who would come down to the Cape every winter and then come back and win awards. And he was asking, like, how did you do that? But we know that that wasn't the case, that he was a drag queen and Belnor found him in a
I
bar.
think I think he was just lying to Harry to make it seem like he was just like him.
Mm,
Like, "See, I was just like you, and that's how I got the pill," and, like, but I think the actual story that we saw is what happened. But
yeah.
I was gonna say, with that quote, whenever I hear that quote of like the old talent beats what is it again? I'm sorry.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work.
And no, it beats it all, nepotism. Because at the end of the day, nepotism is where it gets you where you need to be, unfortunately speaking. But I don't think that's the message Ryan Murphy was going for. Even though I'm going to be honest, some of his casting choosing is results of nepotism, but that's besides the point. Anyways, actually, speaking of that nepotism casting, because it reminded me of American Horror Stories. So do with that what you guys will for that comment. But the ending kind of reminded me of Rabbit Rabbit. Somebody, I believe it was Anna earlier. I could pull it up, but it was before we even went live. I had pointed out how the ending was like the American Horror Stories episode Rabbit Rabbit. I believe that was episode 3, the drive-in episode
Hmm.
where
Where
the
everyone just went crazy from the movie.
yeah, and like the ending was very similar. They both take place in LA, and you see all the like the flames in the background and cars on fire and stuff like that. And it makes me wonder, I'm like, hmm, because Rabbit Rabbit was like zombies and stuff like that, like attacking people.
Hmm.
It was like very similar to how like the pale people are in a way. Except obviously theirs wasn't like watching a movie that set them off.
Hmm.
Theirs was like they took a pill that, well, they both mess with your brain. Like there was some type of
Yeah,
effect on the brain. Something.
from that movie.
Maybe there's something there.
I don't know, but maybe, like, okay, so a sheriff got killed, and a couple people got killed in a town that has like 3,000 people in it, and we got like a state trooper come in. The shit that just went down in LA is gonna have more than a fucking state trooper on it.
Oh yeah, they're
That's why the
definitely gonna have
chemist
like
got the fuck out of there.
yeah, because they have like the FBI and stuff. That her name was Trooper Jan Remy. I wanted to make sure I got her name. Massachusetts State Trooper. And honestly, I'm like, is she really gonna buy that story that Harry's responsible for all these deaths?
Right.
I
I
doubt it, because like anybody with
She's
common
not.
sense would be like, okay, these are very similar. Because she noticed there's clearly a pattern here,
Hmm.
and the resident association was like super like particular about covering that up because obviously that would detract from tourism during the summertime, which is where most of the locals make their money from because it's very very busy there during the summer. So it's just like I how was she supposed to buy that?
She's not gonna buy that.
Like this guy just showed up a couple months ago.
I just had a fucking crazy idea.
Ooh, what is it?
What if the alien backstory is being told by a person, and then so we know this big shit is going down in LA, and the military is likely to come in. Claire Dagdale just said the military is going to come into LA over this, I'm sure. So the military comes in, government comes in. What if when they flash back to the future after telling this story, it's like some detectives in an interrogation room with Alma, and they were telling her the fucking story about the aliens, and then it goes right back into the regular timeline that we're on.
I love that idea.
I hope they do that.
That'd be nice.
I hope they do that.
That'd be nice. But knowing how this just landed, I'm like, I think that's too nice. They're gonna ruin it somehow.
Miss T said we have all been watching a movie.
Ooh, like if this is like Harry's movie or Mickey's movie or something like that.
Oh, Harry's movie.
Yeah. Oh, that would be interesting. I like that idea.
I do too. I think they just feel like they have to come back to this timeline because there's no
Yeah.
way it can end like this. Like we don't know what's going on with Karen. Like what
Oh,
where
Karen's
what
painting.
her painting. We don't know like what her painting was like. That whole scene was too dramatic just to be like left open. We don't know like what's going on with Doris. Did they like kill all the pale ones before they left Provincetown? Like what about the rest of the pale ones? Because there was way more than like I think Ursula killed like 4 of them. There was way more
Yeah.
than 4 of them. Um Where's Alma? Where's Ursula? Like, how we there's no way.
Where is she going next? So actually, let's get into like some predictions that we think for part two, because
Okay.
we see one thing I want to say I'm super excited about is we see Vera Farmiga. She's the one who plays like the flow progressive like alien possessed lady in the like what are those things called? Trailer? I don't know why my mind blanked on what a word for a trailer was. Embarrassing. Anyways, with Vera Farmiga, I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with her. She's a super talented actress. She's the elder sister of Taissa Farmiga, and Taissa played Violet in season one. She plays, oh my gosh, in Coven, Zoe.
Mm-hmm.
So her big sister's coming to American Horror Story, and I'm super excited to see her. And I personally think like she's being possessed by the aliens. Like I think that's like an actual like maybe like a assistant or something like that, or like
Like a
a
body they're
secretary.
using.
Yeah, I think because it looks like when she encounters like the president in a hallway, she's like hovering and stuff like that, and it's like this weird voice coming out. It sounds like a distorted type of like alien voice. So I, in my mind, see it like she was like probably some secretary that worked on the base and they like possessed her or something, or they like took control over her mind
Mm-hmm.
to try to influence the president. And maybe that is where it does tie in to the pills. Like maybe they started doing these experiments all the
Mm-hmm.
way back then to try to like mess with like the alien DNA and obviously weaponize it in some type of way.
And then try to like, well, they started perfecting it over the years. That's why the chemist has that pill that was a modification, like a prior modification to
Yeah.
the regular pill. The one that Ursula gave the pale ones was a modification to the other pill. Um, I mean, I like that idea. I
Yeah,
like
because
that.
they're doing like an autopsy in that same facility
Mm-hmm.
of
Like
like an
Area
alien body.
51.
Yeah.
Do you know who she reminds me of? You watched American Gods, right?
Yes.
She reminds me of Media. Like how Media
Ooh.
comes and talks to like Shadow and stuff. I feel like it's kind of that, there's that vibe there.
Yeah, and like shape shifting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That makes sense. But I was gonna say with the so like the modern day, I'm wondering like I'm assuming this has to tie in with the pills. Like that's the only thing I can think of because I feel like setting it all in the past or like. But yeah, how do you think is it going to be like back and forth through the past and the present, or like maybe episodes one and two are in the past and three, four are in the future? Like I'm trying to figure out
I
how they're
think
going to structure this.
I think it's I think it's gonna be, I feel like trailers are a lot of times misdirecting. So
Yeah.
I think like only the first episode might be in the past. And then
Ooh.
after that, it's all present times. And then they could go back and forth. They could go back and forth. Like kind of how The Witcher on Netflix timeline is.
Yeah, that's like all over the place.
Yeah, they could do something like that. But I feel like it'll probably be one or two episodes in the past and then the rest in the present time. Like I feel like they only need to tell like an origin story. Like you know how like in Hotel they have that part where Lady Gaga tells her past and how she met um
Oh, March.
yeah, or not March, the
Oh,
character that
Valentino.
Valentino, and then we get Valentino's backstory. So I feel like it might be something like that, like little flashbacks as we go along. But a lot of those clips looked present day.
Yeah, and I want to bring up is it Dr. Lee too or Durley too? The present story has those teenagers. That's not going to be good. LOL. Yeah, no. Whenever you see teens in AHS, just like add them to the body count for the season because they're not making it out. Like I feel like they never do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of any teens. Like none of the teenagers survive American Horror Story. It's so sad.
Like even in Coven, like those witches are teenagers and they go to like that, like even if they end up surviving, how many times have they been in that like paradox where they're waiting? What is that shit called? Purgatory.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they're always in purgatory. Like Madison Montgomery's in purgatory all the time.
Madison lives in purgatory.
Yes.
Like it's so sad. Do actually, what other season? Obviously, I'm assuming Asylum will probably tie into part two. Do you think any other season might? I mean, we only have 4 episodes,
Mm,
so it's kind of like, what can they really do?
yeah, I really see Asylum. I feel like Hotel, because Hotel Cecil's in LA. Um and because of the vampire thing and the chemist saying, I'm gonna maybe make you live forever, little boy. Like, okay, so we know some people that live forever and drink blood,
And they're in LA.
and they're in LA.
Even though she did say she was going to leave this town, she could, take a night somewhere at Hotel
She could go,
Cortez.
or she could go to Camp Redwood.
No, she could go to Camp Redwood. That would be funny.
I mean, that what else is in LA? Murder House is in LA. What if
Yeah,
she
it
set
is.
up her lab in Murder House, her new lab?
I would be sick because honestly, I am so tired of seeing Murder House. After watching American Horror Stories this like summer, I am so over Murder House. Like, just let it go.
I agree with Rex. He said they blatantly said freak show and mentioned the bearded lady.
They did. And I'm wondering if it could also be like a nod to Kathy Bates because she played the bearded lady and she actually was supposed to play Belle Noire this season.
Mm.
Like she was the person that was originally cast, but now that I've seen Frances Conroy in the role, I can't imagine it not being Frances Conroy.
She's so good.
Like as much as I love Kathy Bates and Evan together, but like really can't picture anybody else doing that role right now besides her. She did such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But and well, Freak Show does take place.
I
I'm
think it's
trying to
in
think of the time period.
Florida.
It is in
Juniper,
Florida,
Florida.
and it's like in the 50s, 60s. I'm trying to remember what time period. Oh
I
no,
think
it's
it
definitely around the same time because like Freak Show happens before Asylum.
right, because
Pepper,
Pepper, yeah.
because she leaves the Freak Show, well, survives the Freak Show essentially, and then ends up in the asylum, which is really messed up.
So Freak Show may be going, you know, so Freak Show is loosely tied to Asylum through Pepper.
Yes.
And then Pepper is tied to the aliens through Asylum.
Yeah. Girl, I totally forgot the scene when the aliens talk through Pepper.
Yeah. And
And that's
that's what
what
you
they're
think is
doing.
going on with the progressive lady, right?
Yes. It's the aliens are talking through I totally forgot about that scene with Pepper. I totally
Pepper
spaced on
has
it.
like she's like the saddest backstory in all
She
ages.
really does. If we do
Besides Doris, like Doris is on key with Pepper at this point. That's how
yeah, she
fucking sad her
is.
story was.
Doris' story is so sad, and I'm really hoping that little line of Ursula saying, "Hey, maybe the pill might cure some of you," might actually cure Doris. I would be very, very happy about that. I want her to come back, and I want her to get her revenge on
Yeah.
Alma.
I hope Alma goes to like an asylum type place and Doris comes to bring her violin.
Ooh, I want her to break her violin.
I want her to bring it to her. You know how bad it would hurt Alma to have her violin and not be able to play it because she sucks.
Oh my god! Because like once the chemist leaves, like and the pills dry up, if she is still alive, she's not gonna be able to do anything anymore. She's not gonna be able to play again.
Yeah.
That's one of the side effects of pills. Once you stop taking it, you can't play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. With only 4 episodes left, it's looking really slow on these questions being resolved, to be quite honest.
But we will be here every Wednesday to
Yes,
answer
we
the
are.
questions you have.
We're here for questions. We're here to throw things out there and just throw things at a dartboard and hopefully something sticks.
Oh, I'm gonna make some theory videos this week. I'm gonna like go back and analyze all the episodes because I need to see what like I need some closure for myself. So I gotta do it.
Yeah, no, seriously. I'm probably gonna run them back. That and I definitely gonna do. I did an Asylum rewatch recently, but I think I'm just gonna rewatch Asylum over the next few days just to make sure.
Yep. And well, while you're watching Asylum, I think I'm gonna run back Freak Show to see if I can find any clues
Ooh,
in Freak Show.
definitely, because that it could have been a nod to just like Kathy Bates with the bearded lady, but I feel like you don't just throw stuff like that out there for no reason, or maybe it was
You're
just
the
a clue
bearded
deep into
lady.
it.
You're a freak show. Mm,
I just want to say, Mighty Moon, could there be 2 extra surprise episodes? I would hope so.
I would die.
I would pass out. Or if they made the last episode like 2 hours long, so then it's like maybe like longer run times, hopefully. Because I actually was surprised. Like once I saw how short this episode was, I thought it was a little alarming.
hmm
Because remember how like I had told you, I was like, oh, it ends at
Oh yeah, you gotta
11.
check the runtime to see
Yeah,
what
like
time we were gonna go live.
yeah, because we have a tendency to be like, yeah, it ends at 11, and then like the episode ends at like 11:15, 11:20, 11:30 ish.
Yeah.
Like all the other episodes had longer run times, but the finale didn't. Like I don't know.
I mean, that's like Game of Thrones. The long night was like a 90,
Hmm.
90 something minute episode, and then the last
Yeah,
episode was like, pshh.
yeah, like that. It just why you bring that up? That's like a
So
dark memory.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I triggered you.
No, it's
But
okay. It's a little triggered.
probably next week I'm wondering like will the episodes where part 2 doesn't have that many episodes, will the runtime be longer of the
Yeah,
episodes?
hopefully so. But since I'm gonna say we've been on it for a while, let's start winding down. If you guys have any like pressing questions, drop them in the chat. Ooh, actually, I like this one. Peachy Barbie, a surprise Emma Roberts cameo. I could see her character and Ursula being acquainted. I
Ooh,
would love to see like. I mean, even though we just had a Madison, but just like Madison coming back. Like, can you imagine Madison and Ursula, like Ursula being Madison's agent?
yeah.
Like Madison wanting to get back into
Oh,
acting or something like that. I would love that.
yes. 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 That would be a good cuz she is an actress. They
Yes,
get
she.
along.
Oh, they definitely would.
They get along. Yeah. People are still saying that ending is awesome.
Yeah, and I think we're like all in consensus. Like the biggest like takeaway from this episode is what happened at the end. Like that, the ending just fell completely flat. It was just going off strong, and it reminded me. Oh my gosh, have you guys ever seen the movie Shark Tale? Or have you seen Shark Tale?
No.
You've never seen Shark Tale? I love Shark Tale. It
No.
came out around the same time as Finding Nemo because like movie studios do that thing where like one successful movie works, so they take the concept and just do it
Oh,
over and
I
over.
think I might have seen that. I might have
It's
seen
like
that.
Will Smith as a fish,
A shark.
and then Jack Black plays the shark.
I
But
might have seen it.
there's a scene where they're like a horse, or like a not jellyfish, it's a seahorse race, right? And he put like all this money on one of the seahorses, and the seahorse is like literally right about to win and like damn near the finish line. It ends up tripping on absolutely nothing and loses.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
that's exactly how this episode went. It was like just like that horse was in Shark Tale. The seahorse in Shark Tale was going great. We got to 40 minutes in, it's still going great. That last 20 minutes, and it was like, you tripped on nothing. You tripped on nothing.
Yeah. Oh, Glamdazan says that Sarah Paulson is on the character list for part 2.
Oh, I did see that. I did see that. I'm not quite positive who she's playing just yet,
Hmm.
but I
What if
mean,
she's playing TB Karen?
ooh, she could be playing double duty. We know she does double duty sometimes, and
Yeah, like
maybe
she played like in Freak Show, she was like a whole two-headed person.
yes, and they had completely different personalities.
Bell and Dot.
Oh, okay. Someone said, "Oh, thank you." She's Mammy Eisenhower's wife. Ooh,
Ooh.
I would love to see. Oh, that's just gonna be good because her next, like, besides Neil McDonough,
Her,
that's gonna be a really, really good.
I'm ready for it.
Oh, side note, I'm not sure if you guys have been watching American Crime Story. It's another show by Ryan Murphy, but Sarah Paulson plays Linda Tripp, and she is the worst.
In a
And
good
she's a
way.
no, like no, she plays a app. She does the job well, but her character is like the worst. Like I feel like whenever she does American Crime Story, Ryan's like, okay, so I need you to play a really unlovable character. How do you feel about that? And she's just like, sign me up. Actually, that's probably why she didn't have such a big role this season. Or like maybe
She's
TV Karen didn't get a lot because she's really heavy in American Crime Story.
mm, that I know she said I think she said that TB Karen was one of her favorite characters.
She was such a great character. She was such a really good character. Even though she didn't get a lot of screen time, like the screen time she did have, it was amazing. And yeah, so Lily Rabe, I saw that is playing Amelia Earhart. So it's like,
Mm.
what is happening? Like, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, by the casting, like, what is going on?
Wait, Lily Rabe is playing Amelia Earhart in
Part two.
part 2.
Yeah.
So is it going to be like some kind of Bermuda Triangle tie-in?
Just figured it out. Oh my gosh. Again, I'm going to keep bringing up Project Blue Book because it's making sense. There's, obviously, they don't cover Amelia Earhart, but one of the big things that like happens, I think it's like the opening episode or throughout the season, but pilots having to deal with like interference from UFOs. So maybe they open part 2 with like the reason why she went disappeared was because of like aliens or something like that.
Bermuda Triangle shit.
Yeah, like
Oh, and remember when I was doing research for what this season was about? The Bridgewater Triangle in
yes,
P Town. What if they're connected? Or in Massachusetts, not in P Town, but if they're connected, that should be hella funny.
ooh,
Time
that would
loop.
be funny.
Tulka said time loop question mark.
Time loop. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit? Like, are we gonna get like this? Oh, like she's looped in time or something like that. Like she's having like a time paradox or something. I don't
I
know.
need to
I'm
know. I need to know
yeah,
what
no.
kind of time loop we're talking about here. But so if she's playing Amelia Earhart, there's definitely gonna be some Bermuda Triangle UFO interference type of shit.
Yes, definitely. Like I this the aliens. All right, I'm calling it.
You
Part
need
2
to do a
opens
you need to do
with
a
that.
video. You need to do a video on Project Blue Book and how it ties to this season because there's a lot of shit tying in.
Yeah, honestly, I'm telling you guys, watch the show. It's only 2 seasons. It was on History Channel. Unfortunately, got canceled, which is kind of sad because the way the last season ends, it's like
Mm-hmm.
besides the point. But I like the so there was an image in one of the trailers of a medical file with Amelia Earhart's name on it. So I wonder if she's being experimented on. Quite possibly. And the government's probably covering it up by saying she's missing. Hmm.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. The took us to elaborated Bermuda Triangle missing time reporting in UFO abduction. So that's probably like part linking with it. Okay, I like that idea. I like it. I like it. But
We on something. We on to it.
we'll look into it, guys, for you guys. But
Yeah,
we're gonna get ready. Yes, we're gonna
expect
get
our
ready.
theory videos.
Yes, we're gonna
Sorry.
get ready to. No worries. We're gonna get ready to head out of here. You guys can also catch us Sundays on Gray Area's channel for Direwolf City with our two other co-hosts, Nim and Alicia. And that's Sundays at 8:30. And next week we'll be covering part 2, Death Valley, episode 1, I guess, or episode 7 of the season. I don't know how they're numbering these, but we'll be on Gray Area's channel next week.
Yay.
You got
And
anything? You got any church
no, just
announcements?
expect our theory videos because I'm sure we're gonna have them after we rewatch this episode and the last episodes, and I'm gonna do Freak Show. She's gonna rewatch, or she just rewatched Asylum. We'll
Yeah,
see. We'll see. We'll try to put something together for you guys to keep you with the juice.
exactly. We're gonna figure out what's up with these aliens.
And we'll
Gotcha.
see you. We'll see you
Uh,
Sunday, or if you watch Game of Thrones, or we'll see you Wednesday.
yep. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.